Throughout its history, Doctor Who has been extensively marketed in a variety of different ways. You get your big event magazine covers, like on the Radio Times, or even dedicated print releases on the subject. You get your official websites as well, your social media pages across multiple platforms, and of course, tons of merchandise like action figures and playing cards that would ideally be gifted to little 6-year-old Isaac for him to share with his buddies on the playground at primary school. But in reality, sad adult nerdy hoarders like myself swoop in and collect those bad boys first. Usually to just leave them gathering dust on our shelves or in boxes under our beds for years on end, and only bringing them out to show off to other people and not to actually use for our own personal satisfaction. Oops. But of course, arguably the most valuable piece of marketing for Doctor Who, at least in more recent years, has been the trailer, dropping with tons of fanfare and bombast, usually after a long drought in content. It's a surefire way of generating hype from the diehards, encouraging discussion among the general audience, and getting you trending on various social media websites. Whether it's for a single episode or story, or promoting an entire upcoming season, they give you a taste of what the advertised program will contain, usually showcasing enticing clips from the upcoming episodes in rapid-fire succession set to dramatic music. But sometimes, trailers may showcase exclusive material, filmed specifically for usage in these bite-sized promotional clips, and today, that is the topic that we shall be discussing. So before we dive in, I just want to give a couple of disclaimers. This is only counting specially filmed trailers for full-length Doctor Who episodes and seasons prior to their initial television broadcast. So before y'all come swooping in here asking after Big Finish or Blu-ray collection sets, they're not gonna be included here. Nor are things like Friend from the Future or any of the dozens of prequel clips, as, yes, while they were specially shot marketing clips broadcast to garner interest in the main TV show, they're more minisodes than anything else. Now, this video may not be entirely comprehensive. There may be a quick 10-second teaser here and there that I'll have missed, but in terms of all the notable specially shot trailers, like ones totaling at about 30 seconds or longer, yeah, I think I've got them all on lock here, but don't quote me on that. And lastly, no continuity announcements, general adverts, channel-wide Christmas bumpers, or idents will be included here either. It's a shame. I really wanted to discuss travelling to Turkey, but alas, it's not promoting any specific season or episode, and so it's disqualified. But just know that it exists. Anyway, let's get started. I imagine this entry might be a surprise for most of those watching, but yes, An Unearthly Child did indeed have a trailer broadcast prior to its release, and one with specially recorded material as well, featuring the leading man himself, William Hartnell. Details about it are murky, particularly on whether it was radio exclusive or also made for TV, but its broadcast date is certain. A week in advance of the episode, on Saturday the 16th of November 1963. Another interesting twist in this trailer's existence is the fact that it was actually scripted to be out of character. Instead of Hartnell portraying the Doctor in some super secret pre-show scene like you were probably expecting, he instead delivered a rather factual explanation of the upcoming broadcast details, the roles he and his co-stars play, and the general outline of the first episode. You could almost say that he's
describing the story without doing it.
Yeah, thanks for that, Matt. Unfortunately but predictably, it no longer exists in the BBC archive, and unlike the overwhelming majority of other missing Doctor Who content, there's not even any known surviving audio, so all that remains is the script allegedly used, and who knows if it even translated accurately to a performed medium. That's a shame, huh? Oh well. Yeah, apparently the Web Planet had a specially filmed trailer as well, screened a week in advance of episode 1 on Saturday the 6th of February 1965, though this source claimed it to be the first the franchise ever had, which is incorrect, probably. God damn, these early days of the show are obscure. I couldn't find any footage of it, so I imagine it's been lost to the sands of time. But apparently, in addition to using clips from the story itself, it also featured a specially shot sequence of a Zabi in the vicinity of the television studio, an attempt to familiarise the monster of the week in an everyday location to make them less frightening to children. Sounds cute if true, though apparently this irked director Richard Martin, who felt that it undermined the immersion of the story itself. Okay then. The next specially filmed trailer, at least that I could find, was for the 1967 Patrick Troughton serial The Ice Warriors. Broadcast on Saturday the 4th of November following on from The Abominable Snowmen episode 6, and 1 week prior to episode 1 of its advertised serial. It set the stage for the human conflict in The Ice Warriors. Peter Barkworth, in character as his upcoming role of Britannicus base leader Clent, explains his background and the state of affairs from his perspective to the audience, followed by Peter Sallis doing the same as the rebellious scientist turned scavenger Elric Penley, whom audiences would see more of in a week's time. After an ominous moment which presumably teases the Ice Warriors themselves, the continuity announcer gives broadcast details. Unlike our first example, we do actually have surviving audio of this trailer, albeit in rather poor muffled quality.
Useless, non-productive, waste of talent. He's talking about me.
No visuals survive, but Curio's Entertainment, the animation company who recreated the missing episodes of The Ice Warriors itself for the 2013 DVD release, also animated this trailer and included it as a special feature on disc 2, with accompanying subtitles because of the aforementioned muffled audio. I like the way this trailer sets up Clinton Penley's bad blood. It's neat. Just a shame that due to the state it survives in, it sounds like...
I'm Francis, in charge of stopping the second ice age.
Not two serials later, we were treated to yet another specially filmed trailer on Saturday the 27th of January 1968, transmitted after the ending credits of The Enemy of the World episode 6, advertising the iconic Yeti in the Underground adventure The Web of Fear set to start the following Saturday, and apparently filmed alongside episode 1 itself. It pulled out all the stops in getting the audience hooked by featuring Patrick Troughton himself in character as the Doctor. Here, he speaks to the viewers directly and warns them of the returning Yeti and their increased fear factor following their prior appearance in The Abominable Snowmen, recommending that the children at home comfort their terrified parents, which is super endearing, considering how elusive Patrick Troughton tended to be for really anything that was extracurricular to the episodes themselves during his prime. I do consider it a pleasant surprise that he agreed to do this extra little scene. Sadly, it's another instance where the trailer as originally broadcast no longer exists, but the audio thankfully survives and in a much higher quality this time.
They're just a little bit more frightening than last time.
And credit where it's due, it was eventually animated by Shapeshifter Studios, alongside the currently missing episode 3 for the 2021 DVD release. Yeah, nah, do yourself a favour and just watch that fan-made YouTube animation from 2008 instead. Does the job much better. But either way, I do like this trailer a lot. Next. Our next stop comes on Saturday the 14th of March 1970, where, after the broadcast of Doctor Who and the Silurians episode 7, we got a next time trailer for the following adventure set to start the following Saturday, The Ambassadors of Death. Unlike the previous entries, it is mostly made up of a compilation of clips from the upcoming serial itself, spanning many action scenes across the 7 episodes. However, at certain points, exclusive newly filmed footage of Jon Pertwee as the Third Doctor is shown, extreme close-up shots of him talking to someone off-camera, dramatically commenting on key plot points. I wonder if these scenes are canon. When would they even take place in the story? Who knows? It's a nice little addition. Jon Pertwee brings a lot of gravitas to these little statements, and they do a good job hooking you on the premise, so I think they work.
But it certainly wasn't human.
Next we jump to the other end of the 1970s decade, as in August of 1979, a specially recorded trailer dropped advertising the soon-to-be premiering season 17. It featured Tom Baker in character as the Fourth Doctor, in a bizarre scene which specifically foreshadows the events of Destiny of the Daleks in particular. A mysterious voice contacts him and warns him that he'll soon encounter the Daleks again, making a point that forewarned is forearmed, before immediately wiping his mind of this information. It's certainly very fitting of the whimsical, cartoonish tone that the show had around this point, especially with how semi-metatextual it is. I mean, it implies that the Doctor basically sleeps away the months when his show isn't on screen, in pure Santa Claus-like fashion.
What do you mean, waking me up in the middle of August? Doctor!
Which, damn, think of all the naps they had throughout the 2010s. And the Madman even has a sign on the TARDIS saying "Do not disturb until September 1st, which is when Destiny of the Daleks episode 1 would later air. Neat detail there, which doubles up as a very vivid piece of marketing. I like it. Really garish graphic design choices though. Gee, I wonder what day of the week it's airing. Nearly an entire decade later, Season 25 was nearing its debut on the 5th of October 1988, and an overall season trailer was dropped a month prior to garner interest, featuring a montage of clips from the upcoming stories, mostly Silver Nemesis. But as it was also the 25th anniversary year of the show itself, they decided to spice up the trailer with a couple of exclusive scenes featuring Sylvester McCoy as the 7th Doctor and Sophie Aldred as Ace, filmed during the production of Silver Nemesis. Here, the two of them discuss the fact that it's been, well, 25 years since the Doctor first came to Earth. Does this statement break canon or not? Either way, these scenes are sweet, and the soothing rendition of the theme music used here is pretty nice, although Ace does jinx the show's fast approaching death near the end.
Time for a rest.
Damn it, Ace. Oh yeah, this is a thing. November 1993, BBC's 3D week, and Doctor Who was making its, return, with the non-canon 30th anniversary EastEnders crossover Dimensions in Time. A series of trailers was made to advertise the week as a whole, all showcasing a couple sitting on a sofa watching the TV with 3D glasses on, and in one of them, the TARDIS lands behind them with Sylvester McCoy's 7th Doctor leaning out to tip his hat and do something else indiscernible before leaving again. Also, the TARDIS signage omits the public call box part of the text, but nobody cares. This show's been dead in the ground for 4 years already. Sorry, Jenny. Now we hit the revival, and these trailers get a fair bit more extravagant. Firstly, there's The Trip of a Lifetime, debuting on the 15th of March 2005, a cool 11 days prior to the show's return. It features Christopher Eccleston in character as the upcoming 9th Doctor inside the TARDIS, directly addressing the viewer as if they were a potential companion, with warnings of how hectic and perilous his adventures can be, intercut with footage of him death staring at the camera, and running down a dark corridor from a huge explosion. before assuring us that no matter what, we'll be in for something special. This is followed by a clip montage from the upcoming series, and finally a shot of the Doctor and Rose posing in the TARDIS. This trailer is iconic and for good reason. The dialogue is enticing and hits all the right beats in describing the show's premise.
It won't be quiet, it won't be safe, and it won't be calm, but I tell you what it will be.
Eccleston's performance is note perfect, the editing is well done, and the deeper, slower version of this era's eventual theme tune is a great choice. And it even ties in well with the revival's debut episode. After all, how did the Doctor escape the detonation of Henrik's department store? Welp, here's your answer, before you even know that scenario is going to happen. Though dude must really work out if he can outrun that explosion. And that's not all, as another specially filmed trailer featuring Billie Piper broadcast around the same time, teasing the upcoming series from Rose Tyler's perspective. Here, Rose similarly addresses the audience and presents us with a decision that she has to make, between her mundane everyday life or the danger and excitement that comes with travelling with the Doctor. It's a decent hook. Sure, we know what she'll choose, but her being frank with the viewer about this personal decision is a great way to get us invested in her character journey once the series starts. I just think it's neat. The revival would proceed to make specially filmed trailers a recurring staple of the marketing for pretty much every new season to follow. And so when Series 2 was gearing up for its broadcast starting on the 15th of April 2006, a trailer was released on the 1st of the month to promote it. It's more or less a sequel to The Trip of a Lifetime, except this time we substitute Christopher Eccleston's 9th Doctor for David Tennant's 10th, but still delivering a soliloquy to the viewer about the wonders and dangers that they'll face if they decide to accompany him on his travels. Though there are some differences, like this strange motion blur effect that gets used for certain shots, the fact that footage from the series is used to directly punctuate his points, and the epic posing with Rose taking place outdoors now. Side note, they also use this outdoor environment for the TARDISodes trailer. It's fine. It's just not as good as its predecessor. I don't know, I just don't think it matches the same level of captivating gravitas this time around. At some points it even makes me raise an eyebrow, like Billie Piper's bored as hell sounding line delivery.
Possible things.
Still, when directly comparing the two, the 10th Doctor's more casual and cocky attitude is extremely evident, so kudos to them for demonstrating the difference between this Doctor and his predecessor in a mere recycled trailer premise. Series 3 would start on the 31st of March 2007, and so roughly a couple of weeks earlier on the 16th, we were graced with this trailer, featuring David Tennant as the 10th Doctor, and Freema Agyeman's soon-to-debut companion character Martha Jones. This time the setup is completely different from the prior two, and the best way I can describe it is, it's like a dating simulator? Like, there's a split screen, and on one side is Martha delivering a personal anecdote about her life, while on the other side, the Doctor responds to her with his own related statement about his. They go back and forth like this a little bit, and then the camera zooms out and the split screen merges into one shot, as they affirm how compatible they are for each other, followed by a clip montage. It's kind of amusing in retrospect, considering the actual character arcs that these two would go on to have in the season, but whatever. A second trailer would follow on the 22nd with an identical format, but with different and honestly far more naturalistic sounding dialogue, although it certainly doesn't ease the dating simulator vibe.
Who has a big heart?
Two of those, actually.
It's cheesy, but I enjoy it regardless, even if it is a little misleading about the upcoming character drama. A specially shot trailer was dropped on the 28th of March 2008 to promote the upcoming Series 4, which would premiere 8 days later. This time, Catherine Tate in character as Donna Noble sits by a campfire in the dark and warns us of the evils of the universe, with her words punctuated with clips of Daleks, Sontarans and Ood. These shots would be used in their own dedicated teasers, but as Donna's speech shifts to focus on the heroic Doctor, the footage of of the villains begins to be interspersed with dramatic shots of David Tennant facing them off and running from explosions. Towards the end of the trailer, Donna affirms that she's ready for his return, before ending things on an ominous note that sends a shiver up your spine.
Then, just like that,
We'll be gone.
This is the first of these specially shot revival trailers to not feature footage from the series itself. This one is pretty damn hype, not gonna lie. It's up there with the Series 1 trailer for representing the show perfectly from a marketing perspective. One of the best. With Doctor Who's dramatic 2010 overhaul set to kick off properly on the 3rd of April... Hey, that's the day after my birthday! The new season was promoted with a special trailer, screened not only on TV but also in 3D cinemas, starting from the 20th of February. Here, Matt Smith's newborn 11th Doctor and Karen Gillan, in her upcoming role as Amy Pond, are doing a spot of stargazing before the drugs presumably kick in, and they take a trip into a vortex filled with monsters while some super upbeat music plays. The Weeping Angels attack, and the Doctor puts Amy's trust in him to the limits. Then we cut back to them on the grass, before a giant Silurian head explodes out of the ground. Alrighty then. Well, ignoring the, plot, if you could call it that, the addition of the Weeping Angels here is a neat touch, considering their return was a subject of much excitement in the build-up to Series 5. Sometimes I wonder how the Doctor and Amy got out of that vortex, though. Or if this is an alternate timeline, where they're still stuck there, to this day. So, with Doctor Who's prominence growing in the USA, to the point where Series 6's opening story, The Impossible Astronaut, was being filmed there, BBC America released this specially shot clip in the waning days of 2010 to promote the upcoming broadcast in the spring of 2011. Here, we see Smith's 11th Doctor and Gillan's Amy Pond in the Utah desert, with the Doctor waxing lyrical about his time-travelling abilities, before incorrectly declaring that they're in Paris. Amy then corrects him.
I was gonna say America.
yeah.
See, it's funny because the Doctor is a dum-dum. Haha, clap now. Then once A Good Man Goes to War had broadcast on the 4th of June 2011, this short teaser of a skeletal hand holding the sonic screwdriver was dropped to hook people onto the second half of the series, which was to follow in the autumn. Because the Doctor was absolutely totally going to die, guys, so... Skeleton! It's so spooky! Oh, the horror! God damn, the build-up to the 50th anniversary was hype, and one of the many reasons for that was this trailer. Granted, whether it counts as specially filmed might come into question for some of you, as at first glance it may just seem like a patchwork of publicity stills from years gone by edited into a video sequence. But in actuality, they did use body doubles for some of the camera angles and character postures that they wanted to achieve here, and of course there's exclusive footage of Matt Smith in character at the end, so it does qualify in my books. To summarise, it's a trip down memory lane for the show, taking us through a freeze-framed tribute to some of the show's most iconic characters and eras. The First Doctor, the Second Doctor, the Fourth Doctor, the Third Doctor, everyone else the 10th Doctor, and the 11th. The latter of whom delivers a melancholy speech throughout about how his whole life journey has been leading up to this moment, accompanied by a dramatic version of the theme music.
Now the time has come to face the choices I've made in the name of the Doctor.
I think the music really carries this trailer, as some of the visuals... they've not aged so well. The first and fourth Doctor segments look pretty great, don't get me wrong, but this whole crowd segment needed work, to be brutally honest. And let's not forget the unphotoshopped third Doctor double, and the really flat-looking 10th Doctor. But still, credit where it's due, there was also this unused trailer from around the same time, featuring the 11th Doctor in the TARDIS delivering a speech with basically the same epic sentiment.
Now comes the moment I've been running for all my life.
Was Dave the Doctor really all that pivotal in the show's history in retrospect? I don't know if it's just me or if these trailers are just overstating how much of a climax it would be. Did you guys know that Series 8 had a darker, edgy Doctor in it? Well, the trailers dropped on the 27th of June and the 4th of July 2014 definitely wanted you to know that, as they each showcased the TARDIS console room shrouded in darkness, with explosions of sparks and fire erupting from the console, and Peter Capaldi's 12th Doctor cast in silhouette to convey his sheer dark edginess to the viewer, because they really wanted you to know that this new Doctor is gonna be quite the bad boy. In addition, they also play sound bites from the upcoming episode of characters talking about just how dark and edgy this Doctor is, just in case you didn't get what they were going for.
I don't think I know who the Doctor is anymore.
It is admittedly a bit subtle. Not a lot of people know this, but Series 9 did in fact have a specially shot trailer. Exclusive to BBC America, it dropped in the summer of 2015 to promote the upcoming autumn series. Okay guys, I've got to prepare you for this one because this trailer is pretty damn epic. Here it is in full. Yep. Stunning. I am shook from the amount of content I have been presented with. The ending shot is just a PNG slowly zooming in, but the sweeping shots of the police box exterior before that do look specially filmed, so yeah, it qualifies. Wow. To promote Series 10's premiere on April 15th, 2017, a trailer dropped on February the 25th, set in the library location which would later be seen in the Extremis episode. It featured Pearl Mackie as Bill Potts providing narration about the Doctor's character over footage of herself, Capaldi's 12th Doctor, and Matt Lucas as Nardole walking through a hallway. As they proceed, books start flying off of shelves and all hell breaks loose, while Bill's voiceover shifts from focusing on the Doctor to talking about her own upcoming journey. As a trio, they stride towards an advancing wave of villainous faces which they would end up doing battle with in the series itself. It's fine. The dialogue could be better, but it gets the point across. And I like the climactic note it ends on, so there's that. Around this same time, there was another teaser that was almost entirely comprised of VFX work by John Smith, utilising footage from previous 12th Doctor episodes and transforming them to create new scenarios. This factor in isolation may mean it technically wouldn't qualify, but Pearl Mackie once again provides specially recorded narration focused on the Doctor's character, which I think just barely allows it to count here.
We all need a hero like the Doctor. Now more than ever.
Oh, of course, this is what experts, scientists, and historians alike call the big one. So on the 14th of July 2017, a teaser dropped for the upcoming announcement of who was to play the 13th Doctor, basically showcasing the number 13 across a variety of scenarios, along with the TARDIS key waiting for its new owner on a plinth somewhere. Then 2 days later, on the 16th of July, the announcement itself came, in the form of another trailer, where a hooded figure walks through a serene, dilapidated wooded area. The person comes to a stop, opening their hand to see the TARDIS key materialise on their palm, shortly before they lower their hood to reveal themselves as Broadchurch attack the block actress Jodie Whittaker, as she walks towards a terribly inserted PNG of the TARDIS. This trailer in itself is quite interesting, as it's not advertising a single specific story, or even an entire upcoming season per se. It's a trailer for an actress being introduced to a character and to this franchise in general, and that approach is unique. And it's a rare case among these trailers where the performer is arguably not in character. It was certainly very effective, especially at the time. During the build-up to Series 11's October 7th, 2018 debut, a couple of specially shot trailers were dropped. The first of them, unleashed on July the 15th, featured the new companions of the upcoming season, Ryan Sinclair, played by Tosin Cole, Yasmin Khan, portrayed by Mandip Gill, and Graham O'Brien, brought to life by Bradley Walsh, as the three of them seemingly go about their everyday lives. As we see flashes of Jodie Whittaker's 13th Doctor walk by them, their retrospective scenarios change, a commentary on how the Doctor improves the lives of everyone around her. Yaz gets extra pizza, Graham's newspaper gets replaced by a Beano, and Ryan... And as this goes on, we hear a sports commentator in the background giving a not-so-subtle commentary on how we've got the makings of a great team here.
They've got the makings of a really strong team.
Don't know about that one, Chief. They tried, but I think this is a case of the trailer itself being fine, just the final result not really delivering. Then the second trailer, released on September 7th, showcases Jodie Whittaker's 13th Doctor standing in the centre of a cathedral-like location as the glass ceiling above her shatters, much to her bemusement, while Macklemore's Glorious plays, as that was the promotional anthem of Series 11 for some reason. And, yeah, that didn't seem to go over so well. I feel glorious, glorious, glorious. Immediately following the broadcast of Revolution of the Daleks on January the 1st, 2021, we got this clip, which honestly feels more like a Marvel-esque post-credits scene than anything else. Either way, it introduces the upcoming companion Dan Lewis as portrayed by John Bishop, accompanied by a handful of clips from the upcoming stories, snazzy introducing text, and a misleadingly smug side smirk. Honestly, I find this kinda cringe, especially with the conveniently correct and meta horoscope predictions.
The colour blue will be important, and the letter D.
And finally, the last specially filmed trailer for Doctor Who, at least as of early 2023, was for Flux, aka Series 13, which was to begin broadcast on October 31st of 2021. Well, on October 9th, an exclusive teaser clip was dropped of the 13th Doctor inside her TARDIS, addressing the viewer under the framing device of her hacking into our transmissions, as she frantically warns us of the perils that were to threaten our heroes this season.
This is the fight of our lives.
Doctor, we need you!
Again, it's fine. I think Jodie delivers it well. It's just a shame I'm not keen on what it was actually advertising. Anyway, that's the specially filmed trailers of Doctor Who, and I think they're fun little promotional oddities. Long may the show keep doing them!
But William, you can't stop there.
Why ever not, Thomas, my dear chap?
Well, there's the spin-offs, of course.
What about them, honey?
They have their own specially filmed trailers, though. For a matter of fact...
You do it!
Alright, see you next time. Right, do I need my intro or something? Ah, thank you, that'll do. So, as I said before, the spin-offs had their own trailers as well. But, how are they compared to the main show? Well... For one, K9 and Company didn't have one, so you can cross that off the list immediately. And yes, before you ask, the Australian K9 series doesn't have one either. Next up was Torchwood, which surprisingly didn't have one in its original one in the UK. But when it came to the US for its fourth transatlantic season, Miracle Day, it seemed that the team didn't want the series to go by without some promotion. Released as the trailer for Miracle Day Episode 5, The Categories of Life, on July 29, 2011, this trailer had Gwen on camera tell us about the terrors that the team would face in the next episode, and how she's sorry for doing this for her father. This trailer was basically a retry of the I'm recording this in case anybody sees this bit from Children of Earth. Result is, it doesn't work as well. It just comes off as that meme of somebody asking to copy your homework, and is a lazy attempt of trying to outdo the big scene, and not working as well as the original. But, if there was one spin-off that definitely had some specially filmed trailers, then it would be the Sarah Jane Adventures, which began its first series with one. To start the SJA hype train, a specially filmed trailer was released on September the 8th, 2007. This one had Maria on camera comparing forgetting homework, climate change, and her dad's cooking to an out-of-this-world experience, until she met Sarah Jane. I think this one worked in being funny, but also exciting at the same time. To be honest, I really like how Elizabeth Sladen is posed in this trailer, making her to be this great mentor to Maria. But it's essentially just a rehash of the Series 1 Rose trailer. Still, it was only Series 1. They could work on this to make this better, right? A year later and the second series was ready. So, the BBC pulled out all the stops by releasing the next season's trailer on September the 5th, 2008. This one had Clyde ask himself if he should ring Sarah Jane on the doorstep or not. This one is the one that is so memorable. It has that creepy edge at the beginning, then it transitions to Clyde telling us the useful things about the team, before going back to the creepy edge when he gets to the doorbell. It's just so good, really. And I mean, it was so good that Russell himself thought it was a great idea to put a shorter version of it at the beginning of the SJ episodes come Series 3, where it became even more memorable in the process.
Ready?
Always.
2009 came around and Series 3 was just about to be put out. So, another specially filmed trailer was put out in October 2009. This time we have the team going somewhere, bringing another person along as they find out that their alien, the Blaverine, turns out to be one of these 3 humans. This is where you went to the website to choose which one, or you could just catch one of the trailers on TV. This one was great because it really got that sort of feeling of doing something for the team, despite the fact it was just you choosing the right choice. You had 3 choices: the granny, which was wrong because she had pickled onions in her basket; the girl, which was wrong because she was typing too fast on her phone; and the postman, which was the right choice because he was selling morning papers in the evening. How alien. It was great, except for the fact that they kept saying it was a Blaverine when really it was a Blaverine Slivine. What? It is wrong, you know. Series 4 was around in 2010, and so on September 26, 2010, another trailer was released. This one had Androvax, General Kulak and a Grask plotting the end of the world, until Sarah Jane reveals their disguises to be Rani, Luke and Clyde before they run out to save the world, with one glimpse of a Shansheaf at the end. I think this one wasn't as good as the previous lot, bordering more on the comedy than the suspense, but it came up as a good way to tease us for the next series, especially with the Shansheaf at the end. During Series 4, after the airing of The Vault of Secrets, the BBC put out a specific trailer for their next story, The Death of the Doctor, with Matt Smith and the TARDIS telling us about how they're going to face their biggest adventure of their lives. I don't like this one. For one, Matt Smith's on a PNG of the TARDIS, which makes it look a bit cheap, but it also sort of ruins the mood of the upcoming adventure when the Doctor isn't really talking in a serious mood about this. It's a shame this was the last specific trailer, but I guess it worked in getting those couple of viewers into the show. And finally we have the underappreciated spin-off Class, which only had one trailer. Oh well. On October the 7th, 2016, the promos for Class finally aired, and this one was just like the last Sarah Jane Adventures trailer, a one where the Doctor is the camera, telling everybody how he can't be there and how this Class team will have to deal with the incursions themselves.
And time never forgets.
This one was a bit better than the last camera trailer, probably because the Doctor is actually on set this time. I remember being hoodwinked into thinking this was going to be scenes of the Doctor in the finale, but it turns out they weren't. And that's it, I guess. Nope, I don't think Will's coming back. Right, okay, well, thank you very much for watching everybody, and of course, I'll be seeing you, my friends.